These are red squirrels, and for the first time in my life, I was watching them in the wild. This was not the wildlife I expected to find in Center County, Pennsylvania, but this trip had a lot of surprises in store. Welcome back to Wondering About Nature. Before we head out on the trails, I want to share something that made this whole adventure extra special. Last weekend, I got to meet some amazing fellow outdoor content creators in person for the first time. The kind of people who get just as excited about wildlife and nature as you do. I'll be linking all of their channels in the description below. Do yourself a favor and check them out. Now let's get into it. On the way to Black Moshannon State Park, I made a stop at Scotia Barrens, a rare pitch pine barren ecosystem tucked away in Center County. And that's what made this stop so memorable. While I was walking the road, searching for wildlife, I spotted something that stopped me in my tracks. A family of red squirrels. Since moving back to Pennsylvania last year after a 30-year absence, this was my first ever red squirrel, a life mammal. And what made it more special was seeing all these little ones pop out of that nesting cavity. Red squirrels prefer coniferous and mixed forest, which is exactly the habitat Scotia Barrens provides. They're smaller than the gray squirrels most of us see daily, feisty and incredibly vocal. It was a fun surprise for sure. I was also treated to seeing an eastern towhee stirring up leaves searching for a meal. Now on to Black Moshannon State Park. This park is about 3,400 acres in the Allegheny Plateau region, and what makes it stand out is its sphagnum bog. It's one of the best examples of a bog ecosystem in the state, and the trail here takes you right through it. The boardwalk section in particular give you views that feel much wilder than you'd expect for a Pennsylvania state park. When I first arrived, I headed out on the Blueberry Trail. I came across a serene setting at this pond. An eastern phoebe was perched, doing exactly what phoebes do, watching and waiting. I also checked out the Shingle Mill Trail, which starts near the Kephart Dam. I noticed spotted sandpipers were hanging out on the spillway and rocks at the dam. They were teetering and bobbing as they moved. That walk is their signature. In breeding plumage like this, the spots really pop out. But the moment that stopped me completely happened when I carefully turned over a log along the trail. 2 salamanders. Smaller one I recognized right away, an eastern redback salamander, one of Pennsylvania's most famous woodland salamanders. But the other one gave me pause. Longer, more slender, a different profile entirely. A long-tailed salamander, my first ever. These salamanders are associated with cool, moist environments near springs and seeps, which makes Black Moshannon's bog and wetland habitat exactly right for them. Finding 2 species together under one log, one familiar and one brand new, is the kind of moment you hope for and don't always get. I do want to mention I always replace logs carefully after looking underneath. The microhabitat beneath a log is its own small world. The animals sheltering there depend on it, and it takes time to rebuild once it's disturbed. Look, and then leave it as you found it. During the weekend, I also spotted some other wildlife. Down near the water, a Canada goose family was moving along the shore, goslings in tow. Along the lake shoreline, I saw hundreds of tadpoles. They were moving through shallows just below the surface. It's the kind of scene that's easy to walk past if you're not looking down. And if you caught my May 17th teaser, you got a preview of the swallowtails puddling on the sandy beach of the lake. Black swallowtails and eastern tiger swallowtails both gathering on damp ground at the same time. Watching them side by side was a great chance to really compare the two. Years ago, I did a video about this behavior, and we'll have a link at the end of this video. And then a butterfly I'd never seen before, a gray comma, perched just long enough for me to get a good look. The jagged, irregular wing edges are the giveaway. The comma butterflies are named for a small comma-shaped marking on the underside of the wing. Black Moshannon also delivered something I didn't anticipate. 3 botanical life sightings. Painted trillium, one of Pennsylvania's most striking spring wildflowers, with that deep pink-red blush in the center of the white petals, is unmistakable. I've seen other trillium, but not this beauty. Fringed polygala, tiny, easy to overlook if you're moving fast, but those bright pink fringed blooms stop you cold. These grow in mature forest understory and are considered an indicator of high-quality habitat. And then the jack in the pulpit. I searched for these for many years when I lived in coastal North Carolina. Standing there looking at many in person for the first time is amazing. 6 life species in one trip, a life mammal at Scotia Barrens, and at Black Moshannon, a gray comma, 3 wildflowers, and a long-tailed salamander. I also made a point to stop at the park's visitor center. The displays inside do a beautiful job of showing examples of wildlife seen on the property, the unique plant life, the specialized wildlife, and why these habitats are so ecologically important. If you're planning a visit, don't skip the visitor center. It adds real context to everything that you might see on the trail. Plus, you can get your state park passport book stamped and buy a cool t-shirt or other souvenir, which helps support the park. Between Scotia Barrens and Black Moshannon, this was one of those weekends where everything came together. The wildlife, the habitat, the people. I came home with lifers I didn't expect, footage I'm still smiling about, and some new friends in the content creator community. If you want to follow along with the other hiking and nature creators I met at the meetup, I've linked their channels below. Every one of them is worth your time. Until next time, thanks for watching.